In this training movie, we're going to be covering the pattern library tools. First of all, you'll notice up here in the main menu, the pattern library is grayed out. That's because there needs to be a defined area on the background image, and that defined area needs to be selected in order to be able to access the pattern library tools. So to make a defined area, I'm going to go up here to the drawing tools, which says area here, click on it, and I'm going to quickly just define this driveway area here. And to close this polygon, you go back to the first point or you press enter on the keyboard, but that's another movie. So now I have different ways to access the pattern library. There is a shortcut here called pattern library. If I click on that, that will bring up the pattern library. If I click off of this defined area, you notice that the pattern library icon is not highlighted. If I select on the defined area, it's now highlighted and I can access the tool by clicking on the icon now. It's also located under Area Pattern Library. So there's three ways to get to this tool. Now the tool consists of two separate menus or windows. First of all, you got the tools, and then you got the libraries. The libraries can be moved anywhere on the screen by clicking in this blank area and dragging it to a new location. You could change the shape of the library and where it appears by going to one of the corner handles and reshaping it. So you can have it going down the side of your screen or going across your screen on the left or the right, top or the bottom. It doesn't really matter. The other thing too to keep in mind is that however you shape it, once you close it, it will come back in that exact same shape. As you can see there, I'm going to now put it on the side, close it, bring it back, and it stays the shape and the position that you last used it. When I'm working in full screen, I like to put mine off on the side, but working in a low resolution like this, I would bring it across the screen and only have one row showing, because you can also maximize it by hitting the maximize button here. You'll see it's going to actually fill up the whole screen. You may want to do that to see all of them, but usually not. Now you could sort through these libraries by using these pull down menus here. I'm going to click on reset, so I've now reset all these to all, and as I scroll down here you can see all the different colors and all the different patterns in the program. Now you could sort through these patterns by using these pull down menus here. One of the quick ways of doing it is sorting by the manufacturer. So if I go here to manufacturer and I click on Americrete, the library has just changed and all I'm seeing are products and colors that Americrete produces. Let's pick another one, say Brickform. You'll see that the patterns and the colors have changed to match what Brickform does. So you can sort by your manufacturer, and let's say you always use Brickform, you could go over here to save as default. So now Brickform will be saved as the default, so the next time you come back into the pattern library, Brickform is selected and those products are there available to you. You can even narrow down the sort the same way. Now keep in mind, this is sorting, this is not searching. So if I go up here to product and I go to acid stains, it says this combination is not available. So basically what that means is there are no acid stain colors for Brickform in the program. If you wanted acid stains, you would change this back to all, and you'll see all the acid stains here now. So again, if I have acid stain product selected here and I go into patterns and I want to search by, say, basket weave brick, so we got basket weave here, again it says there is no combination available. That's because we don't have acid stains in basket weave brick. But if I change this to stamp textures, now I have all the basket weave patterns by all the different manufacturers available here. So you can sort by pattern, you can sort by pattern by product type. So if I go to spray textures, you notice that the basket weave patterns have changed, and now these are spray on textures, which are different than stamped obviously. So you can sort by spray textures and basket weave, and you can even narrow the search down by color. Now if I go to beige, there are only 4 products available that are spray textures, basket weave, and beige. So that's how it works. It sorts the libraries. It's not a search. Some people get confused about that. Now once you've found the product, the pattern, and the color that you want, and you want to place it on the defined area, all you have to do is double click on the thumbnail and you see that it's placed now on this driveway. Let's scale it up so you can see a little better. So now you can see the basket weave pattern is on there. Now, while we're on sorting libraries, let's talk about the secondary library. The secondary library are like miscellaneous different textures and types of products. They're all seamless, mind you, under the secondary library. But for example, you may be looking for grass or mulch to put in your image. You will find that under the secondary library because it really doesn't match any of the libraries as far as products, patterns, colors, or manufacturers, because God would be making the grass. So if we go here to say face brick. Now face brick is something that you may be placing on walls, but you're not going to be using as decorative concrete. But face brick we have under secondary libraries. Also, let's go say all the acid stains are also grouped together here because everything that appears in the secondary library also appears in the fill wand. If you're not familiar with that, make sure you watch that training movie on the fill wand. We also have different pavers available in this secondary library, and we also have stone veneer. So always check the secondary library for miscellaneous things that you may be looking for. Plus, if you create a new texture library yourself, it will appear in the secondary library. And you can access those files by clicking on Show Library. So I click Show Library, it shows me the secondary library. If I click Show Library here, it shows me the sorting that I've done with beige, basket weave, and spray. So two different libraries you could switch to. You can't see them both at the same time because they just replace each other. You wouldn't really want to because then you'd be confused and not really knowing which library you're looking at. Okay, so let's close the library by hitting the red X here in the corner, and now let's focus on the perspective tools. Now you notice that this basket weave brick here doesn't look realistic. It looks more like it's on a wall here. We need to change the perspective to make them look like they're laying down on the ground. And the perspective handles here are what does that. So if I grab this handle here and I move it up, you could see that the handle next to it moves with it. So if I click on this one and move it down, you'll see that this one moves up and down with it. That's because I have paving selected here. So in essence, I could just take this perspective handle, and what I want to do is I'm taking this line here and matching it up with the edge of the driveway. That changed the direction of these bricks following this line. And on the side here, if I click on the bottom handle and bring it over, you can see now the bricks are following the edge of the line between this point and this point. That's how the perspective tool works. So I'm going to grab this one and just bring it over to the center to show you how it's following the direction of these lines. And I'll bring this one out and bring it back in. So if I was setting the perspective of this driveway, basically I would be done. I'm just matching up the right side and the left side, and it's finished. I don't need to change to walls or free, but we'll explain those here in a second. So that's basically how this perspective tool works. Let's do a few more examples. So now I want to change the perspective of these bricks on this house. But because this driveway is going off at an angle, you're going to see that the paving setting up here doesn't always work right. So I'm going to grab this perspective handle here and I'm going to move it over to the edge, and then I'm going to grab this one and bring it up to the edge of the driveway here. And as you saw, when I move this one, the one across from it goes with it. That's because I have paving set here. So if I bring this handle down and move it over here and line up this edge, it's always moving the handle at the bottom where I don't want it. It's easy to fix though, and that's what free is all about. When you click on free, it frees up the handles so now they can be moved independently and it doesn't affect the one across from it. So what I usually do is just get it in the ballpark with paving set and then click on free, and it lets me adjust it and tweak it the way I want. So let's try another one. Now you can see in this picture it's not shot straight on, it's almost more like a 45-degree angle. So if we click on paving and we grab one of the perspective handles, and I'm going to bring it over here because I want to line up the bricks to this wall like you were laying real bricks, and you'd start at the wall and work your way out. So I move that perspective handle. You see this line here, and you see how the grout line is following those perspective handles. So if I bring this up here like this, you see again the line is following it here, and it's actually following it over on this side too. It's just not exactly on the line like this one is. So if I bring this down here, and I know from experience I would never get this lined up the way I want to using paving, but again, that's okay because I've got it in the ballpark right now. I'll just click on free, and then I'll just grab this handle and bring it along the edge of the wall like I want it. I'll bring this one up, kind of matching the perspective of the car, and then all I have to do is line this one up, and that's pretty much the way I want it. Then you want to scale the brick because obviously these are huge bricks now. You go up here to this slider, and this is the scale. Sliding it to the right makes the bricks larger. Sliding it to the left makes them smaller. So you just move it until you eyeball it and see that looks pretty good to me, maybe a little too small, and we're set. Let's go on and try something else. Now in this image, I know that paving is not going to give me the results I want. If I want to match up this pattern with the perspective of the swimming pool in this image, it's just not going to do it. But I'm going to do it anyway just to show you. So I'm going to grab this perspective handle here, and I'll bring it up to the edge of the pool, and I want to bring this one up to the edge of the pool, and I want to bring this one down to match up the edge in the bottom here. But again, you see this handle's not cooperating because it's connected to the one across from it. So every time I move one of them, the other one moves where I don't want it to be. Again, simple solution, click on free. And now it's freed up this handle so I could bring it down here. I want to match it up with the bottom of the pool here. This one here is matched up with the edge of the pool on the right side, and now we'll just match this one up to the top and to the side here, and as you can see the perspective looks pretty good here. We want to scale it a little bit here by bringing this down, and pretty much we're done. So once you understand what it's going to do and how it works, it's actually very quick to get the perspective set.